Any Marilyn Monroe fans out there? Well, if you are and you want to remain one, I wouldn't keep watching. You see, I had a documentary playing in the background on the TV as I was doing my research, and Andy Warhol crossed the screen, and I took a closer look. And then I said, if there is anyone ever that is a character, I'm looking at him. And at first I thought that has to be George McFly playing Andy Warhol. But then I remembered that George McFly actually did play Andy Warhol in the Doors movie. That's a funny symbol. But this character looked awfully feminine. So I started doing my research on good old Andy Warhol. And it wasn't long before I remembered he was very famous for a Marilyn Monroe painting. And then my next step was to check the numbers. Do they line up? Did she die around the same time that Andy Warhol became famous? And would you imagine that? She passed away in 1962 and Andy Warhol became famous in 1962. But you couldn't ever imagine that this face could become this face, could you? I mean, when you really look at them, there's a chance, right? Well, what if I told you I found my smoking gun? Would you still not believe that they're one and the same? Well, I'm going to show you. But first, I want you to get your mind right and clear it completely and allow the possibilities to just flood in, and don't be held prisoner by what you think you've always known. Let's take a look. Now, like I said, these faces couldn't possibly be the same, right? I mean, there would be clear and obvious answers to that. Like that, we would see that, right? Well, what if they just decided to remove that? And there would have to be other things, right? Like, I don't know, two very clear and distinct dots on her face and two very clear and distinct dots on his face in the exact same place. And I haven't even told you my favorite part of this yet. As I was researching, as I often do, I put some sort of TV program on in the background just for some background noise. And on this day, I chose Seinfeld, and I literally went through and just picked a random episode. And as I was researching this exact thing, this is what came on the TV.
Yeah, that was Joel DiMaggio.
The guy slept with Marilyn Monroe. He's in Dinky Donuts.
It was just a little gift from the big guy upstairs letting me know I was on the right track. Because synchronicities aren't coincidences. They're signs from above. They're letting you know that you're nosing around in the right direction. And I almost forgot to point out how identical their noses are. But of course, this is all for entertainment purposes. I know that Marilyn Monroe just happened to die the same year that Andy Warhol came on the scene. The total coincidence. And that her most distinguishable feature just happens to be in the exact same place of a scar from something that looks like it was removed. And this most certainly is not them just rubbing the truth right in our face. Definitely not. It's just he thought Marilyn Monroe was a great subject to paint. Entertainment only.